We've made videos explaining why Peter was not nerfed, and we've made videos explaining that Miles Morales did not have plot armor, but now let's look over MJ and see whether the hate towards her is actually justified. Let's get started.
Don't hate Mary Jane Watson, but she has to be one of the worst additions to the game as a whole.
Well, we're starting the video off with a bang. You don't hate MJ, but you think she's one of the worst additions to the Spider-Man PS4 game? Off to a great start.
For whatever reason, they decided to make her a journalist, borrowing a bit from Superman's gal.
It always amuses me when people complain that MJ is somehow a Lois Lane ripoff when a 10-second Google search will tell you that she was a reporter in the Ultimate Comics.
But where Lois Lane is focused, strong-willed, mannered, charismatic, confident, curious, from time to time you get to see her in another light where she's more vulnerable and nervous.
Wow, you just described Insomniac MJ. Congrats, well done, dude. You want a medal? I don't even know why you're comparing them to Lois Lane because, again, different characters, but good job, I guess.
MJ is just in your face and refuses to screw off, all because she's written into this weird modern trend of a woman that has to show signs of brashy independence in order to be considered strong, and any sort of reliance on a man will somehow make her lesser than one.
Well, that's bullshit, since MJ does rely on Peter several times in the game, especially at the end of the second and third acts of the game, so no. Care to get a better argument?
They even give her her own missions that no one asked for.
The MJ missions suck, like no one's gonna defend this. The one redeeming factor is that they're over quickly as long as you know what you're doing, but yeah, these sections suck.
Literally no one. Not a single soul. It doesn't help these sequences are some of the most outright ridiculous ones in the game. At first it's not bad. She gets into a tough situation and with some luck and quick thinking, she uses the opportunity to her advantage. But then the game completely jumps the shark when she rips off her mask and underneath unveils her true identity. Solid Snake.
Mary Jane Watson? Super spy.
This is just so confusing. So first of all, you complain that she's brash and what have you, and how she doesn't need men to save her or what have you. But now you're gonna complain that she uses tactics, stealth, and a stun gun to take advantage of the situation and help take down enemies that way. Like, you can't have it both ways. Like, which one do you want, dude?
She outsmarts and outmaneuvers people who are more qualified than her in every field. What adds more to the offense is the use of the sound discs Peter gives her to make these missions more believable.
Dude, I hate to be that guy, but it's just gameplay. Get over it. Like, can we actually see how she's quote-unquote bad in the story?
Did it though? I think it just made them worse. Like, are these guards blind? Do they not see what direction the flying discs are coming from?
I will freely admit that these sections are not well designed, but honestly, dude, it ain't that deep. And especially since if the guards and thugs and what have you actually behaved in a believable, realistic manner, these sections would be damn near impossible.
On my first attempt, I was trying to throw them as far away from the Sable agents as possible. It was obvious they'd see, but the game actually forces you to toss the discs in front of their faces.
Not right in front of their faces, that's bullshit. You basically have to throw them within a radius where the guards can actually hear it, which, again, that's just gameplay. You really think that if Peter Parker would design these things, he would make it so that they are only effective within like a 10 feet radius? Like, this is Peter Parker we're talking about. Again, it's just gameplay, it isn't that deep, my guy.
Because they're not standing close enough.
What the f-
The game actually encourages you to be as obvious of your presence as possible. Well, I was giving the game too much credit. And also, is no one going to run a sweep after hearing the ambient? Isn't anyone going to call them in once they're investigated? This isn't Metal Gear.
Once again, I will freely admit that these sections are not well designed and they couldn't make a lick of sense. At the end of the day, MJ, no matter how tactical she is, should not be capable of going through fucking Sable bases. But I will also say, again, it ain't that deep. These sections are not the core gameplay, it is a small section of the game. Obviously the web swinging and Spider-Man combat are the main mechanics in the game, so obviously those mechanics were fleshed out the best they could be. MJ's stealth sections as well as Miles's, not only are they a small section of the game, but they were as fleshed out as they needed to be. They could have been a hell of a lot better, and there are way too many of them, but it still makes up, like, not even 5% of the game.
What are you trying to do here? All of this just totally clashes with the rest of the game. How incompetent do you have to make the enemies just to make your character look better than she is?
Stay ready.
How exactly does it clash with the rest of the game? It's not like you have two different Spider-Men, but only one of them can do combat and the other one can do stealth. Like, no, you're playing as a human. Like, it makes sense why you would be doing stealth, because at the end of the day, Spider-Man can fight through these guys, but MJ can't. Even when she gets the stun gun at the end of the game, she can't just go in guns blazing, because that would be a one-way ticket to heaven.
From this point on, it gets worse with each mission. There is, however, one sequence where you get to play as Mary Jane that I like, and that's at the Central Station. Watching Spider-Man on hero duty from a civilian's point of view is awesome. This is awesome. You never get to see Spidey from this perspective. It's a really nice attention to detail for all the bad these MJ missions are.
I would agree, the Grand Central mission was probably the best MJ mission in the game. Not only because you had to work with Spider-Man to defuse the bomb, but you also had to use Spider-Man to take down the enemies, which is how it should be.
Game. Clearly designing these wasn't your #1 priority, and it shows.
Hey, who's there?
But at least it's representative of the portrayal of MJ as a whole.
Oh god, here we go.
The writers doing everything in their power to prop her up, while making everyone else less capable and inept.
Well, aside from the times where she needs Spider-Man to save her life, and also the times she needs Spider-Man to save the city, and also the times that she apologizes for her own actions and rash behavior, but, you know, I guess those actions don't count, right?
If there only was a way to name these type of characters.
I bypassed the compressor.
Dude, I'm actually done. Are you seriously gonna try say that Insomniac MJ is a Mary Sue? Are you honestly gonna try do that? Even though she has character flaws and insecurities outside of Peter, she needs Peter to do shit for her, she can't do everything herself, etc. Like, are you honestly gonna try claim that? The difference between MJ and Ray Palpatine is that Ray will randomly pull random bullshit abilities out of her ass when the plot needs it, but MJ doesn't do that.
And if that's as far as the problem went, she wouldn't be that bad of a character.
See, now you're just contradicting yourself. Oh, if MJ's only problem was she was a Mary Sue, then she wouldn't be all that bad. Like, hello, she would literally be bad if she was a Mary Sue, because there would be no reason to engage with her problems. But I want to ask a serious question. What does MJ do that's even remotely close to Mary Sue behavior? Like, she gets captured by the demons at the art museum and at Grand Central. She needs Peter to save her life multiple times. She doesn't do anything in the final battle, and even in the second game, she doesn't do anything that's even remotely Mary Sue behavior. I mean, she tries taking on Kraven and gets absolutely humbled.
Alas, there's her relationship with Peter Parker. What's her deal? She wants to be his equal?
She doesn't want to be his equal, she just wants to feel appreciated. She doesn't want Peter to treat her like glass just because she doesn't have superpowers. The fact that you don't understand this is honestly concerning, because it's pretty much spelt out for you word for word.
Constantly trying to prove her worth. You could say that's admirable, but for Mary Jane, I never cared for that aspect.
Okay, and that's a you problem then. Like, that doesn't detract from her overall character, especially since you admit that it's admirable that she's going out of her way to prove herself. Like, that's good. It shows that she has aspirations as a character, which shows that she does have development and what have you. Like, just because you don't like it, I'm sorry to tell you this, but that's irrelevant to the discussion of whether she's a good character or not.
And definitely not in the way it's presented here.
Is that what we are?
She was never a literal equal to Peter.
Well, no fucking shit.
Dude, he's got spider powers. What do you have? Noisy discs?
MJ has a lot going for her that Peter doesn't have. The main advantage being that she doesn't live a double life like he does, meaning that she can actually keep down a job, and in the second game at least, she can help keep down the mortgage and stuff. And even in this game, it's hinted at multiple times how Peter is constantly late for his work with Dr. Octavius.
You guys can't be the same sort of equal. She can't fight her way out of situations. Her abilities as a fighter are very limited, and whenever the game tries to prove you otherwise, it's only that much more embarrassing.
The only embarrassing one here is you, because you misunderstood the game so badly that I'm questioning whether you played it or not. MJ doesn't want to be his equal, she just wants to be his partner, she wants to feel appreciated. And it's even stated in, like, after the burning building mission that it's very difficult to be the one who constantly gets saved, and she wants to be appreciated and stuff, which I feel like you're gonna go over later on in the video anyway, so I won't go over too much about it here. But also, once again, it's just gameplay. That's all it is. It's not meant to be taken seriously.
You're lucky to be alive.
Says the guy I saved 5 minutes ago.
The amount of things she gets away with because of sheer luck and skills is ridiculous.
It's pretty funny that you bring up the Sable example, because not only does security tighten as a result of the security breach, but also MJ needs Peter to save her. So it's pretty fucking funny that you bring up that example.
Throw in as many 1 in a million maneuvers into the mix, cause I'm not buying it. If you think you're all that, Miss Watson, why don't you go fight bad guys? Let's see you get beat up and trampled after 5 seconds.
Well, that statement aged poorly at least, since she literally does fight people in the second game. Whoops. Also, it's pretty fucking funny that you're trying to accuse MJ of being a Mary Sue, yet in your video you show an example of her getting captured and Peter needing to save her. Like, you can't write this shit.
I mean, what's Spider-Man doing in this game if she can do all the things he can?
You serious?
Wow, you are the king of contradictions, aren't you? So like earlier you were whinging about how she's not a literal Spider-Man like he is, but now you're complaining that she can do everything Peter can. Like, honestly, this is why you script your videos, guys.
Break into Osborn's properties? No problemo. Infiltrate a Sable outpost?
Moving him. Have to find out where before we lose our shot.
Please.
Right, once again, gameplay is not canon, and you've made this point several times now, so when are you gonna stop making it? And also, the funny thing about this is that it's a false equivalency, because when she quote-unquote does stealth or infiltrates bases, she doesn't do it like Spider-Man does. She has to literally dodge and weave her way around enemies, not like Spider-Man. He can just stay on the roof, or just zip around the building and just pick them off one by one. Or hell, with the gadgets, he can take them all out, like, almost simultaneously. The fact that you're trying to compare these two scenarios is honestly ridiculous.
She takes care of those for breakfast. Get into Tombstone's office? Oh look, the door, how convenient for her. Come out of nowhere and save the day? Yes. Did she have any plan? I ask this once again. If she's so amazing, why is Spider-Man here?
Meanwhile, in the same cutscene, you can see that the only reason Aunt May and Miles aren't plunging into the fire is because of Spider-Man being there.
The writers are constantly enamored with the idea that Peter needs her help, that she needs him as Spider-Man, and that he needs a team to help them out.
And this is a problem, why? I mean, if you don't like it, that's fair enough. If you think that Peter should just one-shot everything and everyone and never need anyone's help ever, then fair enough. But that isn't a fair criticism of the story. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean that they're doing it bad. Also, in that same cutscene, Peter has 14 broken bones, just thought I should point it out there.
Hold up, where did I see this before?
You are not the Flash, Barry. We are.
No sane person can look at what she's doing and take that seriously.
You do realize that real-world humans do what MJ just did, right? Like, they're called firefighters. Just thought I should point that out.
Especially when you have to go to such lengths to rest your case, often at the cost of the webhead.
The hilarious thing about what he just said is that it couldn't be further from the truth, since in that specific instance, if MJ and Miles wasn't there, then Peter could have very well fallen to his death.
MJ, if it weren't for you and Miles.
Okay, that right there is dishonest as fuck, because he cuts the cutscene immediately before MJ says that he would have been as dead as she would have been the last 50 times when he saved her. So yeah, he's just cutting the cutscenes just to suit his own agenda, and I can't respect that. Honestly, fuck you, dude.
Look at him, he can shoot bursts of webs left and right. The man is quick on his feet, reacting, stopping things from breaking apart.
Yeah, he also didn't have 14 broken bones during those instances. Just some food for thought.
The sky could be falling and you can rely on this guy, but when it comes to making her look better, he suddenly loses control Oh, he struggles to think fast, he's slow, he's too weak.
He had also just come out of hospital with 14 broken bones. I'm gonna keep pointing that out because it just proves that you didn't play the game.
To hold up a platform. He's starting to swoon, he misses. Can you make up your mind? Does he have 8-year experience or not?
So let me get this straight. Just because he has 8 years of experience, that means he should shrug off 14 broken bones and pretend that like it's nothing? What kind of logic even is this? Also, just because a character has a lot of experience, that doesn't mean they have to be perfect.
Why must we make a character inconsistent to prop up another one?
He isn't inconsistent though, he just has 14 broken bones and he shrugged off the proper medical treatment just to get back to work. Like the way that this guy's acting, it's as though Peter loses every single fight to the Sinister Six just to have MJ come in to save him.
I have so many issues with the burning house apartment scene as is. Here, allow me to fix that for you.
Come on!
Better.
That literally makes no difference though, because according to you, MJ would still be saving them and Peter would still be failing. So like, you're just nitpicking.
I mean, this entire scene is just stupid. Manipulative is the best I can describe it. Oh no, he's gonna die. Why does Miles leap in out of nowhere like he knows Spidey is going to shoot a weapon miss?
The real question is, how is this relevant to the title of the video? I mean, I thought we were dogging over MJ, but now we're just switching gears to Miles and Peter. Like, make up your mind, dude.
Why is Spider-Man the only one weakened by the smoke while...
I don't know, maybe it's got something to do with the fact that he's the only one with 14 broken bones. You absolute mongoloid. Like, did you actually play the game?
Everyone else seems to be getting powered by it. The worst part about this whole affair is it could have been an awesome scene.
It still was an awesome scene. Like, just because you didn't like the fact that the black guy and the woman had to save the straight white man, like, that's irrelevant to the actual quality of the scene. As far as I'm concerned, this scene was pretty much perfect within the context of the game.
Showing that Spider-Man 2 needs help, and having Miles and MJ help him out, and save him even?
Oh, you mean like what we got in the game? Although the funny thing is that would be hypocritical, since according to you earlier, Peter shouldn't have help from MJ. So, again, make up your mind.
That's not a bad idea. Only not when it's rushed and slapped together so evidently.
Well, I'm still waiting on an actual good argument, one that proves that you actually have played the game and you know what you're talking about.
But who cares, right? Because MJ comes to the rescue.
Brace yourselves! Come on, you stupid piece of...
Oh my god.
This is not the Mary Jane I want to see.
Claims that Mary Jane Watson is a Mary Sue. Also shows gameplay where Mary Jane struggles to push something over. Something that Spider-Man would be able to do effortlessly. This video is hilarious. Once again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with disliking a character, but I hate to be that guy, but your thoughts and feelings are irrelevant when judging the objective quality of how the character is written.
In the comics, she was always Peter's emotional crux, and even the movies, she was always what kept him going and truly made him complete in that way. That's the MJ I want to see.
Oh, you mean like Insomniac MJ in the third act of the game? You mean that MJ? The one where Peter is about to break down and feels overwhelmed by all the information, and MJ is the one that gives him the pep talk. Also the same MJ that gives him the idea to create the anti-Ox suit to fight Otto. Yeah, you mean that version of MJ? Also the MJ that offers to let Peter move in with her when he doesn't have his own place to stay.
Those examples made her an equal to Peter in my eyes. Only that's not the type of equal they want you to see here.
Well, that's complete bullshit because that kind of equal is what we got in the game. We just got a little bit extra on top that you weren't a fan of.
And no wonder you end up with such a shallow character. I mean, let's see what she is without the tactical espionage action. Let's strip her down to... Let's strip her down to what she really is. At first she seems pretty nice, outgoing, supportive, and even innocent.
How's it going with you?
She's even interested in what he's currently doing, but still nothing a regular friend wouldn't ask. And then it's all snark, jabs, negativity, arrogance, and degrading.
Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
I'd also like to point out two things. The first being that they haven't seen each other for months, and the last time they did see each other, it wasn't on good terms. And the second thing is they only have one argument between each other in the game. Well, a heated argument anyways. Obviously they have a not-so-friendly text exchange, and they also have the Grand Central mission where they kind of bicker. But after that, she is literally, like, best friend material. And again, it's not like she starts an argument for no reason. No, it ties in with her arc of wanting to feel special and wanting to help out Peter. And she even apologizes for her brash actions after the fire scene. It's almost as if you haven't played the game. Or worse, you're just deliberately leaving this information out just to be dishonest.
We broke up because you wouldn't stop treating me like a baby. Don't do this, MJ. Don't do that,
blah,
MJ.
blah, blah,
That's
blah,
too
blah, blah,
dangerous,
blah,
MJ.
blah, blah, blah.
I may not have super spider powers, but I'm not made out of glass.
There's no chemistry, no history to work off of.
I don't even know if I should continue making this video or not. It's pretty obvious this guy is biased and not willing to be objective. I mean, if you're literally gonna go blah, blah, blah during the argument and you just attribute it to being like toxic female behavior, then I don't know what to tell you, dude. I like to think of myself as being reasonably unbiased, so I have no issues telling you guys that yes, MJ does make a bad decision at Grand Central. She is angry at Peter, and as a result she doesn't call him, and the repercussions of her actions is that a hostage situation takes place, which potentially could have been avoided had she contacted Peter earlier. And again, she apologizes for her actions later on in the game. Like, I don't know where you're going with this. You claim she's a Mary Sue, yet she needs Peter's help multiple times. You claim that she's a whining bitch, yet that clearly isn't the case either. It's almost as if you're just wrong.
Not a lot of reasons for us to sympathize with her or the mean-spirited demeanor. Can Peter be a little worrisome? Yes, but why is she acting as if he obsesses over every little thing? She goes to dangerous places, meets dangerous people, her life is at a constant risk. I think it's fair to worry, especially when you're just a human in very loud heels.
The funny thing about that is that if you pay attention to the game, or hell, if you actually played it, depending on your perspective, both Peter and MJ were in the right and the wrong. I mean, let's look at Peter, for example. Obviously, he's in the right for wanting to protect MJ. It's literally his job as a superhero. However, he was in the wrong for potentially overprotecting her, and he should have had more faith in her. Something that he even apologizes for later on in the game. After the burning building, funnily enough. And as for MJ, obviously she's in the wrong for breaking into a military-grade base, and with the very risk of her losing her life. But she's in the right because she's skilled enough to do it, and as a result, she finds out crucial information that helps both Peter and herself stop Mr. Negative at Grand Central. Like, it's actually a very good scene, but obviously you're not understanding it. Either that or you're just deliberately misunderstanding it for the sake of the video.
The writers are obviously to blame as they expect the viewer to care about this relationship because it's Peter and MJ. You know they'll end up together, so who cares, right?
Well, that's funny because they managed to make both characters flawed and likable and also bounce off of each other's flaws and also have really good chemistry, especially in the third act of the game. So the idea that they didn't try at all is ludicrous.
They can do just whatever and they can still expect you to be invested. But are we ever given a real reason as to why we should care about the two other than we know they're a couple in the comics? No, we are not.
I mean, speak for yourself, dude. The third act of the game gives us plenty of good scenes between Peter and MJ, and they feel like they have good chemistry and are a believable couple. So, I don't know, it feels like you just didn't play the game.
Which is why we needed more time with the pair talking about how much they care for each other. Just something so that we know the sentiment is mutual. Only thing Mary Jane is interested in is becoming work partners to do her reporter job better.
So, are we partners now?
Partners.
Hey, partners trust each other, Pete. There's a chance we have to stop them.
See ya, partner.
I mean, if we're just gonna show clips out of context and be dishonest, then how about I go back through your entire video and clip all the things that you've said that are blatantly incorrect and show them out of context? I mean, we can do this game if you want. Although I'm not sure what I'm expecting at this point. He's shown that he is pretty happy to show clips out of context and even delete the context just to suit his own narrative. I don't know what I was expecting.
It's pretty clear she's not interested in going back to their dating days at all. She's not interested, man. If anything, she seems to have a strange distaste when it comes to developing the relationship further.
Do you remember why we broke up?
Well, why would they immediately have good chemistry? They haven't really seen each other for months, and the last time they saw each other, they ended the relationship on bad terms. And that beef still exists in the game since she argues about it. Like in the argument that everyone shows where she's like, you know, this is exactly why we broke up. So, no, why would they immediately have good chemistry? That doesn't make any sense.
Peter, on the other hand, he's trying. He may be at fault sometimes, but there's no denying he tries to atone for his shortcomings. When Parker screws up, we know he regrets it.
Well, you know, she's, it's complicated.
No, it isn't. She's a... As for MJ, whenever it comes to completing her end of the bargain, she always finds a way to make it about her personal space and how she wants Peter to accustom himself to her needs.
If only there was a cutscene in the game where MJ literally apologizes to Peter and explains why she's sorry. If only it was placed immediately after the burning building segment. If only you started showing that clip in your own video, but then you cut the part where she apologizes just to suit your own narrative. Oh wait.
She's like a praying mantis, and it doesn't help she sometimes looks like one.
Yeah, and the reason why she looks ugly in the second game is because dipshits like you focus on this as if it's such a big deal. Like, I'm really sorry that you can't wank yourself to sleep over a fictional character in a video game, but the rest of us don't give a shit about stuff like that.
It's weird how they tend to fail to do these actors justice in video games.
I mean, the motion capture actress for MJ literally got bullied and had hate mail sent to her online, so much so that she literally resigned from her role as MJ. Just because of her facial reconstruction because of the accident she was in. Like, this is such a bad argument, and I really wish people stopped talking about it.
The two supposedly had a relationship prior to this one, sure. I would have liked to known what that was like other than we broke up because of you.
I break up with you.
Yeah, doesn't help.
Wait, so let me get this straight. You completely ignore all of the chemistry they have in the main game and then wish that they delved into their relationship before the events of the main game? Like, what the fuck are you on about, mate?
It's a bit of a shame the story doesn't give us anything to make the romance believable.
It literally gives us so many scenes throughout the game, and in the third act, you are literally spoilt for choice. Like, I'm not even kidding. In the third act of the game, she is pretty much his girlfriend already.
There were so many opportunities to develop the relationship, like when Pete comes over to her house to cook and talk about the demons.
I mean, even with the small amount of interaction they get, they still manage to develop their relationship a little bit and have a heart-to-heart talk. So, yeah, what was your point again?
I imagined an interesting conversation back and forth, a moment between the two, perhaps about their past, a chance to talk heart-to-heart, get more personal. So when we finally get the scene, I can help but get annoyed by the fact the most we get out of it is the great dumpling catastrophe.
You're never gonna let me live that one down, are you?
Nope.
Once again, you want them to explore their past relationship, yet you absolutely detest it when they point out little references to their past relationship. Like, honestly, dude, what do you want them to do at this point?
The great dumpling catastrophe.
I still can't believe they evacuated the entire building.
I know, and in January, too. Your neighbors hated me.
Yeah, they were pretty happy when we broke up.
Yeah.
So,
Psych!
let's talk about what you found in Lee's office.
Dumpling talk, so quirky yet so insignificant.
If it's so insignificant, then why do you want them to add more of it into the game? Since the past between Peter and MJ would be irrelevant to the events of the main game.
I guess relatable too? Definitely a wasted opportunity. And then she makes a big ordeal out of Peter leaving his clothes on the kitchen floor as though it matters.
Your clothes on the kitchen floor?
Honey, where are my pants?
Ha ha ha, so funny. Why is this still going?
Once again, we get a cute, awkward, potentially funny moment between Peter and MJ, and you hate it, yet you want them to add more of those moments to the game. Sure.
Why does it matter that his clothes are on the kitchen floor? Why? This isn't a great development for their relationship.
I mean, speak for yourself, dude. If my partner left her clothes on the kitchen floor, that would lead to something else. Probably pregnancy and a lot of problems.
Snarking about clothes on the kitchen floor? Really? What is she gonna complain about next, leaving the toilet seat up? They talk about becoming partners in their lines of work, but that's no different from any of their other interactions.
I mean, it is different because them not being partners in their line of work is what caused them to break up before the events of the game. And them becoming partners in their line of work led them to becoming a stronger couple by the ending of the game.
You know, I hear some people say, oh, I like how relatable and down to earth their relationship is in the game, without realizing that this is the very problem. How is their relationship any different from your work partners or your friends?
I mean, you kind of answered your own question. How is this relationship any different from your colleagues or friends? Yeah, that's literally why people are complimenting it, you muppet. They're complimenting it because it's so relatable. It's no different than an experience we would experience in real life, because like it or not, Peter dating a supermodel just isn't relatable for most people in the real world.
This is MJ and Peter we're talking about here. They are supposed to be the couple, the ones to have to hold from a day forward.
Fuck Gwen Stacy and Black Cat, I guess.
For better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, until death do them apart. They're supposed to be soulmates. This relationship can't be just casual. Get away from me with this. Oh, I like how they have normal couple problems. I can definitely relate to that.
Once again, they're complimenting it because it's a relatable relationship, and that is one of the biggest strengths of the PS4 game as a whole. It's a modern take on the story. It's a superpowered being doing very relatable things. Also, you are lying to yourself if you think that MJ and Peter were just a magic, perfect Mary Sue couple in the comics. Like, that's just not how it worked. They had plenty of problems in the comics and worked their way through them. A friendly reminder that Spider-Man has been a thing since the 1960s. Obviously, society, standards, and social interaction have long since changed since then. This is a modern adaptation of the character, and you don't have to like it. Like, once again, you do not have to like it. You can think that Insomniac is the worst Spider-Man we've ever seen. Like, that's perfectly fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but please don't use that to objectively say that these characters are poorly written.
I don't expect to see them dying in each other's arms like Romeo and Juliet either. I just want more than talking about how bad of a cook Peter is. That doesn't cut it. Sorry. Not especially when it gets undercut with a robbery and an overdrawn bit about pants on the floor. It's embarrassing how scared they are of developing a real romantic relationship.
So them kissing at the end of the game isn't them delving into a romantic relationship? Yeah, you just didn't play the game.
Why bother if you have history of movies and comics doing the heavy lifting for you, right? Mary Jane Watson never shows affection for the men until the end of the game for no reason other than they're MJ and Peter.
Oh no, never mind, you did play the game, you just played it with the sound turned off, because obviously they become a couple at the end of the game because that's when their respective arcs conclude. You muppet.
And you know, you're not supposed to question it.
I never stopped wanting to.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
And there's the forced kiss. Okay, that's enough of that. Even Mary Jane's iconic line is forced in and doesn't sound right coming out of her mouth. Almost as if she's another character.
Peter gets up after talking with MJ to go and fight Otto Octavius, and MJ saying, "Go get him, Tiger," isn't a good use of the iconic line. He's literally going to go fight some... Oh, you're so dumb.
Almost as if sharing the same name as your comic book counterpart does not make you one.
Go get him, Tiger.
My name is Jeff.
Remember, boys, to get a girl, all it takes is finding a way to make her mad at you.
Well, that and both admitting your flaws and also having good chemistry, I mean, that's also a big factor. Being honest with each other is healthy in a relationship. I don't know if you know that.
I was more often led to believe Mary Jane is a self-centered egotist.
No.
yourself into this.
After Peter's fight with Mr. Negative at the central station, the two are separated. Mere seconds after the events, he tries to contact her. What does MJ do? She assumes he was trying to talk to her about their relationship and interprets the text. It's over as news that he is done with her.
No, not that kind of over.
Scratch that. I do hate this character.
In fairness, that was Peter's fault. Like, it straight up was. Do you know how hard it is to text, "I beat Lee"? Or, "It's all over, I stopped them"? Or something like that. Like, that was 100% on Peter's fault. But at the end of the day, it would make sense for his character because he's socially awkward. Especially since, once again, you're being dishonest. That cutscene ends with them both saying that they need to work their shit out. You know? Honesty is a virtue.
Someone should throw her off a bridge just so we can snap her back to reality and help her notice how careless of a person she is.
Once again, I'm sounding like a stuck record at this point, but it's almost as if they do that after the burning building mission. You know, the exact same cutscene that you showed in your video, but you cut it halfway through just to suit your own narrative because you're a dishonest hack. You know?
You'd think after a deadly face-off, a near high casualty event, where she along with many other hostages leave in the middle of the chaos, that her mind would be set on whether Peter's okay, you know, if he got hurt or anything of that sort, but no.
Yeah, probably because she knows he can handle it. I mean, she's a reporter, for fuck's sake. She would be aware that he can take on characters like the Rhino, the Scorpion, Electro, Vulture, etc. And she knows that he took down Kingpin at the start of the game. Like, Mr. Negative is honestly the least of his problems. Also, in the third act of the game, your argument doesn't even hold up because she shows concern to him multiple times.
It's always about her. Look guys, remember when you also texted a girl and she misinterpreted what you wrote? Congrats writers, you've succeeded at making her out into a narcissist.
I mean, that honestly just sounds like projection. It sounds like that's happened to you and maybe a girl has blocked you as a result. Like, again, that just sounds like projection, dude. And I'm sorry that that's happened to you, but that doesn't prove that she's a badly written character. Especially since, if anything, that once again proves that the chemistry between Peter and MJ is relatable to a modern audience. Also, how does that make you a narcissist?
Why does she always have to make it about herself? I want to like this character. I really do.
I mean, you say multiple times that you hate her character, and you also blatantly cut off cutscenes and be dishonest just to suit your own narrative, so no, you clearly don't want to like her as you're not giving her a objective chance.
Every time I think there's still hope for her, it evaporates with the rest of her personality.
Either that or you deliberately misinterpret the game and what it's trying to show to you. I mean, you've done it multiple times in this video, so I think it's pretty obvious that that's what's happening.
And then she gives you another reason to hate her.
Not okay. Do as I say.
Police! Over here!
You could have told Peter or the police earlier. You endangered all these people because of your sheer insecurity and pride.
Yes, and after the burning building mission, she fucking apologizes for it, you dickweed.
Should probably call Peter and let him know what I'm doing. Actually, scratch that. He'd probably just tell me to go home and chain myself to my laptop.
That could be an interesting development for her, but the character is too self-unaware of how wrong she is, and the writing never plays to confront this in any real way.
I swear on all that is holy, fluffy, and colourful, I am about to end this video. I swear down. He literally showed the cutscene in his own video, but he's deliberately not showing the second half, which goes over all of this stuff that he's claiming the game doesn't introduce. Like, it's so annoying. Just be biased. Be honest. And the thing that's so annoying is that this guy has fuck all subscribers, meaning that he's not even doing like a Watch Mojo, like a stereotypical, oh, the large content creator says a load of bullshit and gets a load of views. Like, no, this guy has no following whatsoever, and he's still just getting all the information wrong. It's so annoying.
But hey, at least she's good for female empowerment.
No, at least she's good for female empowerment. Shows a clip of her getting her ass kicked in a fight. You know what, this video for me represents the problem with the people who criticize Insomniac MJ. They don't do a good job at doing it, that's really what it comes down to. Like, they either blatantly misrepresent the game, they didn't play the game, or they're just lying to suit their own narrative, and it's so frustrating. This shit's honestly been going on for 40 minutes now, give or take. What do you guys reckon? Should I make a part 2 video where I actually go through the PS4 game and highlight the character's arc to you guys? Like, in an actual, objective, unbiased way? Would you like me to make a part 2? Let me know. Other than that though, feel free to like, comment, subscribe as always if you made it through this train wreck of a video. His video obviously, not mine. Mine was actually pretty good for the most part. But yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.